When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, welcome everyone to the Tech4Troops Live Free or Die 190 here at New Hampshire Speedway. Welcome to the IWM broadcast. I am Rick Souza, here with my co-host, as always, John Drudris. And John, we're in for something special.
We definitely are. It's going to be an interesting night here at New Hampshire. You know, with this banking that you have on this track, you have a flat bottom lane. You have the apron that's available. You have the high line that's available. It makes for a very, very interesting race, to say the least. Right now, Harley Barletta is running second, but Austin Havel just topped the board, where, let me just rephrase now, Chris Worrell just ran the first sub 30.9 second qualifying time at a 30.880. So he has the provisional pole as it stands right now. But let's dive into some really quick race information. 180 laps tonight with 60% fuel, 1 fast repair as always, 4 sets of tires in the pits, 1 on the car, so 5 total sets, 3 green-white checkers. And we will have our Tech4Troops scheme skirmish of the race obviously being decided, and then our Owl's Nest Racing Pole Award, which looks like is going to go to the 8 machine of Chris Worrell.
All right, and our winner of last week's Tech4Troops scheme skirmish was Evan Amick.
There you go. Congrats, Evan. Good job on the paint scheme. Love seeing what these guys do, because it's fun to design paint schemes. I've designed quite a few myself, and being able to get a little bit of what Jason says, that Amazon loot at the end of the night, is always a good thing to have. So qualifying is just wrapping up here in 3 seconds, and I believe we are going to be on the way to starting this Live Free or Die 190 here at New Hampshire.
All right, quickly.
Brought to you by, I'll go ahead.
Let's quickly cover our driver championship right now. Alonzo King, Bostic, Bullard, Pittman, Barletta, Schoitman, Alan Worrell and Charles Van Scoik have punched their ticket into the next round. Mike Slagter, William Ed Jr., Jeff Nairn, Christoph Hall, Joey Doucette, and Mark Hanna are above the line, but hungry right below it is a pack of drivers. Burnett, Ward, Harrow, Ogden, Ledger, Clayman, Berube, and Habel, they're all within striking distance, less than 40 points. Some of this, they're only separating that by 1 or 2 points from getting in that top 16.
Right, Mark Hanna's been running strong, and it's wild to say, but Joey Doucette, he's 15th in points, 3 points away from being, out of this thing. So he's looking for a good night here tonight. But Rick, let's go ahead and bring up our starting lineup for tonight's Live Free or Die 190. Everybody's getting on the grid here fairly soon. Looks like we have a couple more cars that are looking to join on. Right now, on the pole position, winning that Owl's Nest Racing Pole Award is Chris Worrell in the number 8 machine. In second, you have Austin Habel. In third, you have Harley Barletta. In fourth, you have David Clayman. Fifth, Luke Bullard looking for another good showing in NB2 Motorsports, followed by Ty Bostic, his teammate to his outside in the NB2 machine as well. Alonzo King starting in 7th, Ryan Piven in 8th. Jesse Vaughn, an awesome top 10 qualifying run for him, and Mike Sladker rounds out your top 10.
Ian Ogden is in 11 to his outside. William Mann Jr., that's a teammate. You've got the 27 of Jeff Nairn in 13th, Maurice Burnett in 14th. Christoph Hall is in 15th, John Ledger in 16th, Sammy Harrow in 17th, Sean Skoitman in 18th, Colin Garrett in 19th, Philip Vandertwerk is in 20th, Marco Berube in 21st, Brad Previtt is in 22nd. Go ahead, John.
In 23rd, you have Grant Altizer. In 24th, you have Bobby Gibson. And rounding out the rest of your field, 25th, you have Pete Woodrum. 26th, you have Mark Hanna. 27th, Zach Allen. 28th, Charles Van Scoik. 29th, Evan Amick. And 30th, I believe that is Jeff Nene, depending on how those orders are going to go. So, Rick, looks like this is going to be a fun, interesting night. You have one of the best drivers in the front of the field looking to get win number 2 tonight, which is the number 8 machine of Chris Worrell. So we'll see what he's able to do.
Let's quickly get your keys to this race before we go too much
Let's
further.
do it. Yep, number 1, you're going to have to pay attention to the throttle control. 2, tire conservation. You have to be aware of tires and how you're using them. And 3, I think pit strategy is going to be very important, whether it's due to many cautions or whether it's due to a green flag run. A pit stop can alter this race, so you have to have all 3 of those things to bring home the win here tonight. The inside line stacking up, but we're about to get the start to the race. Green flag is in the air for tonight's Live Free or Die 190 as the field dives into turn 1.
All right, full field tonight. Over 30 entries are here at New Hampshire. We are counting down to the playoffs here, and these drivers don't have many more races. Try and make their mark.
Looks like the field's able to make it around turn 1 and 2. Got some battling going on in the back of the pack, in the middle of the pack, but Chris Worrell leads them off turn 4, leading lap 1 of 190 here tonight.
Lots of movement in the back of the pack as these guys who may not have qualified where they wanted to. Oh, that's Colin Garrett going around. He got a little bit of help there. That's going to bring out our first caution.
Yep, it is. So first caution of the night.
Brad Previtt also involved.
Previtt. Yep.
That may have been where that started. Let's go back and take a look. We're following behind the 69 of Colin Garrett. That's the 48 who taps him just a little bit, but that's all it takes.
Wow, what a hard hitting, and Bradley Previtt nowhere to go.
Yep.
Bobby Gibson nowhere to go. Well.
Yep, that's unfortunate, but not unexpected.
That is correct. That is correct. Lap 2, really.
Yep. Like the
first incident of the night.
69 is coming down sideways onto pit road, kind of crabbing down there. He's got some damage.
He does, and what this is going to do is this is going to kind of show us really kind of who's making some early moves. Looking through the field right now, Zach Allen, he is up 8 positions at the start of the race and a couple laps. So very interesting to see what he's able to do. Pete Woodrum up 4, and those are your two biggest movers. Obviously, we've only run 2 laps, but it's still important to know where those drivers are. A driver that I want to pay attention to tonight is going to be Joey Doucette, which, Rick, if I'm not mistaken, I don't see him in the field.
Joey Doucette is not in the field.
Interesting. So that's going to play a big role into where these drivers end up in the playoff standings after this race. With Joey Doucette not being involved, you are going to have a great opportunity for Mark Hanna to leapfrog Joey Doucette. And maybe some of the drivers in the back of the pack, if they can get some points early on and get some bonus points, you may see some points standing shaken up. And one of the best drivers last season not having an opportunity to possibly make the playoffs, which is be a shocking event here. So we'll see what happens as the field paces around this very flat track.
So Mark Hanna's right on that bubble. He sits there at 244 points. Joey Doucette right above him at 247. Only 3 points separating him. Certainly a good opportunity to move up.
I mean, as long as nothing catastrophic happens from Mark, he should be good. Right now he's running in the 22nd position. But still, a lot of time, any points will help him out here tonight. And we've seen him run towards the front of the field. Right now you have the 8 of Worrell and the 6 of Habel there, leading this field down into what is going to be the first restart of tonight's race.
Outside line is a little bit backed off a little bit.
They are. We'll see what happens here. Pace car dives down, and green flag is about to be back in the air. Green flag back in the air.
A little bunched up. The guys may have had to back out a little bit.
And we got a little bit of action going on in the middle of the pack. Car on the apron.
The pace, yeah.
3 wide coming out of turn 2.
We're watching it.
Wow. 3 wide going into turn 3. Able to clear that up a little bit, but here comes the 24 machine to the inside. Oh, 45, Mark Hanna. Oh, when we're wrecking again. Mono Pete Woodrum got to the side of the 80 of Alonzo King, and that brings out our second caution of the night.
That was Woodrum doing that 360 pirouette there.
Pulled a Michael McDowell. And that brings out our second yellow flag of the evening, Rick.
It did.
Trends. In this case, I want the trends to happen.
So I don't think a lot of that was his fault per se. He had Mark Hanna was pretty much spinning. Now the 48 has gone high. You've got nearly 4 here, 4 wide. That's Jeff Denis in the middle. He sees the 45 beginning to spin in front of him. He backs out. That's Greg Altizer behind him. He goes up and doors. That's the 80 of Alonzo King. They come together, and then he gets a little bit of help from the 12, sends him around.
Yep, it does. Unfortunate. There, just a matter of reaction.
All right.
So Rick,
8 laps. 9 laps in.
9 laps in. Let's talk about the track a little bit. Rick, this track is a very unique one, and you have to be very careful with the throttle control out of the corners. And you can easily drive it in way too deep. And everybody has a different braking line here, and everybody has a little bit of a different approach to it. We've seen some of the Cup drivers have, a very strong approach. Look at Harvick. Look at Truex. Has his success here obviously got his first win here 2 weeks ago. But this track takes a lot of skill and a lot of patience. So we'll see how that unfolds tonight with how this race could possibly wind down. But it's a fun track to run if you can get a hold of it.
Yeah, it's really one of those, as you mentioned, it really is about throttle control. And with these cars, you've got to really back up your corner entry. And if you're around racers who have a different approach going in and out, it's going to make it extremely challenging.
It is.
Well, folks, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series here at New Hampshire. This series is brought to you by Tech4Troops, the 1111 Project, and U-Haul. And we bring this to you each and every Wednesday night. We also have a new broadcast starting tomorrow night. We'll have a special broadcast of the iNASCAR racing series, and we'll have one of their playoff events from Richmond. So that should be a fun race. John and I will both be covering that. If you've got nothing to do on Thursday night, pull up a chair, grab a cold adult beverage, and join us in bringing that race to you.
Exactly. Let's talk about that a little bit. Is that going to be Cup cars, like next gen?
Yeah.
Alrighty, that sounds like a fun show, especially at Richmond. I think it's very cool. I love when series mimic what's going on in a real racing, in a real world. And NASCAR making their way to Richmond this weekend. I think it's going to be an intense race, to say the least, and I think you may see somebody who hasn't won in the second win this weekend. I have an eye on some driver who actually has the same number as the guy who's in second place right now. I wonder if he could possibly get a W here this weekend.
We shall see.
We shall.
Well, the lights are off on top of our pace car, so that means we're about to go back to green flag. We're about the middle of the backstretch here, and again, this is a different track. It's really besides a road course. Well, we don't really go to Milwaukee, so this is really one of the flattest tracks on the circuit.
Yeah, it is. This track always reminds me of Milwaukee a little bit. Obviously, drives very different, but has a similar style. And we're about to see how this style comes to life here. Green flag back in the air. Chris Worrell wastes no time jumping to the lead to leapfrog the field, going into turn one.
Good move. A lot of action going on in the back of the field. We're going to take our eyes on what's happening further on back.
We got Worrell up to first in that P1 with Abel, Barletta, Bullard, and Bostic, your top five. We're wrecking in the back, though. It's a lime green car. I believe that is Zach. Maybe not Zach Allen.
Alonzo
Danny
King
Harrell.
and Mark Hanna were involved.
Yeah, we have some similar drivers involved in this one. Let's see what happened. Bring that back, Rafe. This brings out our third caution of the evening.
I'm not sure. We'll go back and take a look, see what... Oh, well, looks like Alonzo King may have gotten into the back of the 48. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, let's...
Yeah, let's dissect this one a little bit. This one may be a little bit tough to digest.
Going back pretty far here. Just trying to see what's going on, because there's a little bit of contact with the 77. But let's just kind of run this out. I'm going to go back to Alonzo King's far chase. Let's let this run out in real time. No contact there, but it was close. 48 gives wide, then he drops down right into the line. Is that what did you see the same thing? Now you're not realizing that the 80 was there?
Yeah, I think that could be definitely the case in this scenario. It definitely looks like that's what happened.
I mean, Alonso's holding his line in that groove.
Yeah, the 80 is committed. 48 just comes down.
Bombs.
I mean, you could see both the cars have that angle towards the corner. 48 just didn't really know where that 80 was. And after this, I mean, because that's not really what brought out the caution. It was really after what happened here.
I think at that point there may have just been a little bit of.
I mean, I don't know. There's Mark Hanna getting to the back of the 80 machine. Unfortunate there. I feel like it could have been another same situation as literally the first one. So Bradley Prevett gets around that, but that's our third caution of the night with the 48, the 80, and the 45.
All right, our third caution of the night, 16 laps complete. Here in New Hampshire, guys are trying to figure out how to get around this track. It's not an easy one, but certainly it's not unexpected. We talked about
No,
this.
it's not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of those tracks where you have to truly understand, and it hasn't really even been an issue, but understand throttle control and understanding where you are in the corner and how your car is going to react to where you are in the current angle you're in and how your car is offset from wherever you are going towards the wall. I mean, everything plays a big factor into how this racetrack, races, and that's what makes it so fun to watch. And you could have multiple different lines here, which is also the fun thing about New Hampshire. So we'll see if we get the lights off the pace car this time by.
A bit more patience with these drivers as they get around here in New Hampshire. Well, you know what? We're going to take this opportunity to. Well, no, we won't. We'll let this run. We'll pick it up at the next caution. We'll save you from a commercial for a few minutes here. So Chris Worrell is in control. The 6 of Austin Hableton is outside. Luke Bullard and Ty Bostic are up at the front, along with David Clayman.
Some big movers of the race so far. You have Zach Allen up 12 and Jeff Nani up 12. Big loser is Alonzo King, minus 16, and Jesse Vaughn, minus 17. Not the kind of races they were hoping for early on here. Alonzo obviously locked in multiple wins, so
it's a long race.
Anything can happen.
And anything will, especially here in New Hampshire.
Pace car's off and green flag's back in the air. He is launched and away. Let's see what happens a little bit further on back. We've got some side-by-side battles going on throughout the field going into turn 1. A lot of cars taking that high approach. Definitely works here.
Battling in the back or focusing on mid-pack and back-pack right now.
And we're wrecking again, Rick. And no caution, though. I think 21 lost it. Oh!
Right. Contact. Oh, someone's blinking.
Wow. I have never, ever seen that before at all. Rick.
Contact, then he blinked, and then he disappeared.
But we have a caution, though. That may have been the weirdest thing I've ever seen on iRacing in the last 10 years that I've been on this. It has been that was the oddest thing.
Yeah,
I get. Was that the 20? Was that the 24?
I don't know. We're highlighting the 24 now. He was in the inside. Let's pause this. Let's back it up because there was contact with somebody with the 24. Right there, that's John Ledger.
John Ledger.
And there's
so
a 21
lost
Ian,
it.
Yeah, Ian Ogden was spinning. Let's just run this through at regular speed here. So there's contact with the 19 and 21. 21 spins. 19 goes down. 24 comes up. They contact. I'm not sure just what exactly happened. Where the 19. Oh, then contact again. A lot of guys involved.
That was one of the most That was just very odd. I don't even know how to describe that. That was one of the most odd cautions I've ever seen. I've never seen a car disappear.
I think
And
John
you know, look,
Ledger completely disconnected because I did not see
he
him.
he has. He is gone, but he is now reconnected though. So he may be able to get something back here.
All right, so that was our fourth caution of the night. We do see some guys in with pit stop. Charles Van Scoik. You saw Zach Allen in getting some repairs made.
We're right about lap 21, and we're a little bit ahead of schedule when it comes to some trends tonight.
All right, we're gonna take a commercial break. We'll be right back, folks.
Let's
Stay
do
tuned.
it. Let's do it.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech4Troops? Tech4Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to tech4troops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech4Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series here at New Hampshire. We are under caution, our fourth caution tonight, for a spin in the back of the pack. We've got some drivers just getting out of the pits, and we are about to go back to green flag racing. Chris Worrell is currently your leader. Austin Hable will be to his outside. You've got Luke Bullward up at the front. There behind it in the third position, Harley Barletta is in fourth. David Clayman in fifth. Ty Bostic is in sixth. Ryan Bivens in seventh. Mike Slagter in eighth. William Mann Jr. in ninth. And Christoph Hall in 10th. And we are getting ready to go back to green flag racing.
We are, and we're seeing some movers kind of shifting through the field. You have Jeff Nani up 16 positions. He's doing a great job there. And he's actually our biggest mover of the night. So shout out Jeff. See what he's able to do. Maybe bring home a win tonight for that number 40 team. Pace car is about to dive off again for another restart. The 6 and the 8 enter the Geico restart zone, and we are back to racing. 6 gets a little bit of a better launch this time. Let's see if he challenges him on the outside going into the turn 1, or maybe dives down to go to the bottom.
Well, with 180 laps, there's plenty of time to challenge. Of course, we're with only 24 laps in the books and 4 cautions. There's not a lot of green flag laps on these tires.
No, there's not. And I think you even need to be a little bit. It sounds odd, but if you are one of the drivers that are up near the front, be a little bit more aggressive and see if you can make up some positions, because there have been so many cautions. We have a car loose, wrecking out of 4. No caution yet. That is the 44 machine of Sammy Harrell. Or is that Van Scoik?
Nope, Christoph Hall.
I can't keep track. They all have the same purple machines. It's hard to keep track. So,
well, we stayed green. That's a positive thing.
hey, we have.
Yep.
Don't jinx it, Rick. Don't jinx it.
Contact up at the front, though, side by side. It was the 17 of David Clayman right there. He was door to door. I think that's the
Oh, and we have a
22
caution.
of Ty Bostic.
Caution, Rick.
Bobby
We have something in the back.
Gibson, I think, spun. And a lot of other guys were involved. Well, something happened, so. Jeff Denis lost a lot of places, showing now in 24th. So let's go find out what happened to Bobby Gibson and just see how that affected everybody else. right, we're watching Bobby Gibson. 24 dived around him. He's got the 27 of Jeff Neer on the outside. Oh, contact.
Ooh.
He gets
Yep.
tagged by the 27, spins him around, then the 19 goes low.
Just causes a mess. Unfortunate for those guys. Hopefully they're able to get back in this. And, 69 tagged Jeff Nene. I gave him the broadcaster's curse.
Yep, this is further on up after that. That mess was happening behind them. Jeff Nene is riding that seam. We're going to kind of watch him on that seam. Colin Guerra is below. Now, Colin comes up.
Oh, Colin was definitely coming up right there.
And Jeff was going down, but unfortunately not clear.
Not clear. That is correct. We should. That'd be a fun segment to do mid-race. Tie it to our podcast if you haven't listened to that. The Highline podcast.
Look at this. Alonzo King is involved again. Plus
Yep,
the
there's a parking lot.
77. Yep. There is a. Yep. What a mess. All right.
Out front, Chris Worrell in the number 8 machine. Let's go run down in the top 10. Austin Habel in second. Luke Bullard up 2 spots in third. Harley Barletta down 1 spot in fourth. Harley Barletta up 1 spot. Or my bad, Ty Bostic up 1 spot in fifth. David Clayman lost 2 spots in sixth. Pittman, Sladker, Mann Jr., and Maurice Barnett round out your top 10. Up 2, 3, and 4 positions. Or 1, 2, 3, and 4 positions, respectively.
All right. So one of the interesting things here is that we may see as these guys continue to rack up incident points. That's how iRacing penalizes when you're involved in an incident, whether it's by yourself or with another driver. You get these incident points, and after a certain amount of points, these drivers will have to serve out a penalty.
Yeah, and right now you're looking at one of the series leading drivers with a potential penalty coming forward here based off of incident points. Pete Woodrum and Alonzo King. Obviously, I was alluding to Alonzo King as the one of the highest point drivers here total. He has 12, and so does Pete. And Colin Garrett has 10. A handful of drivers have 8.
This is a black flag. It's a penalty at 14.
I believe so. I believe it is a black. It's showing me that they both have, Pete and Alonzo have black flags. Not really sure why that is, but because Alonzo is in 22nd and Pete is in 25th. Not too sure. That may just be iRacing's error, but yeah. So early on, 20, 30 laps into a race, you do not want to be anywhere near that incident count. So we have to pay attention to that as this race unfolds.
All right, so we have been notified by race control that 11, they will get a warning, and at 20, it's disqualification. So does the warning then require them to come down pit road?
Possibly. That could be the situation there. But on pit road is a pace car, and we're back to green flag racing. Chris Worrell out in front, getting a leapfrog on the field. As the field dives down into turn 1, Luke Bullard looking inside the 6th table, seeing if he can get his spot up there and make some positions up. And a lot of side-by-side battling going on. Looking at the 21 and the 12. Battling there.
Back through the tail end of the field here, just kind of watching what's going on.
Car hit the wall. I think that's the 12.
That would be Grant Altizer if that's the case.
Car on pit road, I believe that is Alonzo King and Jeff Naren. So Alonzo King is coming down to serve a penalty.
Yep. He will not be the only one who has to serve a penalty.
Not at all. Car loose. That's Berube. He saved it though. He's a little squirrely out of the corner.
It's got the 37 Sean Shipman. I keep saying Shipman. It's Skype. Skype.
S Kite Man, as I like to think of it in my head.
Yeah.
The S Kite Man. So
I
we've won a few laps under green.
saw another flag that Colin Garrett may have spun coming off of pit road. I don't know if that's still the case.
It looks like he did. He is on pit road right now, and he just has disappeared.
He's called it a day. I think Colin Garrett may have retired.
I'm looking on my side. I don't see anything coming through from race control, but he hasn't left the session, but he's not in the pits. So we'll see what happens.
So
Our
after
first green flag run. Go ahead, Rick.
so I was going to say after 11 incidents, it's a drive-through penalty. So
There you go. So we have Alonso, Pete, Bobby, and Colin with those penalties right now. And Mark Hanna just got a drive-through, or you said after 11, correct?
that is correct.
After 10. Okay, so Mark Hanna is 1 incident point away from a drive-through. You have Bradley, Previn, and Ian Ogden. They are both 2 points away. And then you have Vandertwick, Naren, Nini, Ledger. Those are all 3 drivers, or those are all drivers who have 3 incident points away from a drive-through. So I never thought about this, but could drive-throughs play a factor in the deciding factor of this race? It possibly could.
Quite possible. So we're looking at the 80 of Alonso King. He's at the tail end of the lead lap, trying to avoid going a lap down, I think.
Yep, that is true. He is not the last car on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is right now, it looks like Jeff Naren.
Oh, Jeff, I've got Jeff Naren a lap down.
Jeff Naren is 1 lap down. My software is not updated yet. That'd be Pete Woodrum. That is the potential next car.
Nope. Pete Woodrum is also a lap down. So Alonso King.
Oh, well, geez.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, my data's not being nice to me right now. Yeah, Alonso King 25 seconds back, and Ian Ogden 14. There we go.
So unfortunately, there's not a lot of a gap between. So there's 1 turn separates the last car on the lead lap from the first car. So Alonso's doing his best to stay out ahead of the 8, hoping for a caution to come out to give him an opportunity to come back.
It looks like Jeff Nini is on pit road. He just got a black flag for something. It's not incidents, but he did have a black flag. And Charles Van Scoik has run the fastest lap of the race. One of the only drivers to make it into the sub 31 lap times, but also the sub 30.9s. Only 2 drivers have ran a 30-second or under 31-second lap time, and that would be Van Scoik and Worrell. So we'll see what this number 41 can do, making his way through the field right now up to 17th.
Well, he's got a lot of company around him, but good drivers he's raced with before.
But a caution.
And I think that's for Luke Bullard. Like he spun. Let's take a look at just what caused that, if any. Behind the 3 of Luke Bullard, makes it out of turn 4, and just gets loose.
You shouldn't have too much damage. I mean, he did tag the wall in a fairly decent manner, but it's not too bad.
All right, that's our 6th caution of the night. They're adding up a lot here, but we got some good green flag racing there, so let's hope he settled down.
We shall see.
So 41 laps complete out of 180. Unless you've been involved in an incident, mostly no one has come in for for service. Again, unless you've been involved in one of the previous 5 incidents. Well, we thank you again for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series here on the IWM broadcast channel on YouTube, or you may be watching us on Facebook or Twitch. We appreciate you, and if you could like and follow us along, we will update you as to other events here by the IWM Broadcast Network. And as we were talking about earlier, we've got another race tomorrow night, and we hope you can tune into that. It'll be our first broadcast of the iNASCAR Racing League, and we're looking forward to it. All right, Chris Worrell sits up on top of the leaderboard. He's got pretty much the same usual suspects around him tonight. We've got Habel, Bostic, Clayman, Pittman, Barletta, Mann, Vaughn, Skytman, and Burnett up in the top 10. A few takers on pit road. You've got Charles Van Scoik. You've got John Ledger on pit road. And a few folks have been on pit road for a while, getting their cars repaired. Brad Previtt, Evan Amick. Woodrum is also on pit road. You know, whenever these guys are kind of taking the opportunity to take an opportunity to grab some fuel and then top it off and get back out.
Not a bad strategy. Not a bad strategy at all, Rick. And, you know, it's something that can help you later on in the race, especially if this becomes a fuel strategy race from an opposite side. So think about if you have a full fuel strategy race based on pitting. Well, what about if you don't pit as often as you think? So getting fuel now may help you out a little bit later on. A couple notable mentions here. Bobby Gibson and Colin Garrett have retired out of tonight's event. Alonzo King is up to 16 incident points. 4 more, and that is, I believe, a disqualification. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So,
gotta stay clean.
You have to. He right now is shown in 19th on the lead lap. So we'll see how this fares out for the number 80 of Alonzo King.
That caution was very timely for him.
It was. It really was. So we'll see what he's able to do. But also, you know, being halfway over, 75% of that, total incident limit with, a lot of racing to go, 2/3 of the race to go. It's just a scary situation to be in because you're always going to, basically be driving on pins and needles and 1-4X, and that's all it takes. So we'll see what happens here with Alonso, and we'll see how this race unfolds. Pace car is about to make its way back down pit road for our, I don't know how many restarts, it's 6 restarts, but green flags in the air. The 8 of Chris Worrell is at the point as they dive into turn 1.
All right, that right there marks the quarter complete of this event here at New Hampshire. 25% complete here. But your top 6 have not come down pit road at all. They are racing what they started with, both fuel and tires.
That's not a bad strategy, Rick, is to do that, because think about it. If you stay out, ultimately, obviously, you're going to have to come down pit road at some point. But it's all about strategy. It's all about where you think your car is going to play at the end. And we have a 3-wide battle coming out of turn 2. And we'll see how that fares out. But I like the move to stay out. Track position, I think, is the key here, since there's not many green flag laps.
Looking back through the field, there's Alonzo King trying to work his way back up through traffic. Again, he's going to have to tiptoe a bit based on what he's got going on. We're also focusing a bit on that's Jeff Nani there, side by side with the 48. Got Charles Van Scoik back there as well. 91 of Brad Previtt is back there. a lot of the guys who have been involved early on in some of those incidents as they're trying to dig their way out of that and work their way back up are back there at the tail end of the field. Looking back up, we'll kind of move our way back up through the field. Luke Bullard, just involved in that previous spin. Get back around. That's a 20. Oh, we saw it right there.
Oh, there it is. It's 48
12.
again. And the fan, we're under caution again, Rick.
Yeah, I think the 12 of Grant Altizer tagged the 24. Go back and look. That's Zach Allen. Watch here in the replay. I'm pretty sure this is what I saw. There's contact with the 12 right there and the 24. 21 of Ogden unfortunately tags the rear bumper of the 12, and these guys are around.
There you go.
Well,
and the leaders are on pit road.
All right. Probably a good time.
Also, go right ahead.
I was just saying, it's probably a good time.
Oh, probably a good time. Oh, yes, it is. Probably a good time to come down pit road.
This is lap 50.
Also, yep, about a third of the way through, and Rick got some breaking news. The 80 of Alonzo King has been disqualified over the incident limit.
Yeah.
That's gonna not hurt his playoff chances, but he's already locked in. But hurts his chances of increasing his gap on everybody else here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. So, unfortunate there for Mr. Alonso. You have Pete Woodrum at the 16-point mark. Ian Ogden, he can't afford to have any more. He's at 13, with Zach Allen at 12, Mark Hanna at 11, and Jeff Nene at 10. So Pete Woodrum could be the next on the block here to possibly get, unfortunately, disqualified. Looks like Evan Amick as well has disconnected due to specific reasons. Not really sure why, but that's a part of it, Rick. You know, when it comes to these kind of tracks, you know, staying clean is so important in these races.
It's such a hard track to do that in, but you know, you've got to have that same level of respect and cautious driving across the entire field. And when that's not there, and we've seen it on a few of these incidents where, you know, it was just a tap between you and another driver, and then you get collected by someone not paying attention to what's happening in front of them, and they drive up through the wreck. All right, so lap 51 is in the books here at New Hampshire. We are working our way up towards the halfway mark. We're certainly not there yet. David Clayman is currently showing as our control car and will lead this restart. He'll have Ty Bostic on the outside. Jesse Vaughn, big move up for Jesse Vaughn in third. Sammy Harrell, also big mover. He is up 12, as well as Grant Altizer, but he may become. What's the incident points on the 12?
The incident point on the 12, you are looking at a. Let me look through my handy dandy data here. Only 6,
okay,
surprisingly.
Good. All right, we're keeping an eye on that. Yeah, but anything's possible.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible, of course. Pace's car is making its way around turn 3 and turn 4. And we're about to get the restart underway, and new leader, David Clayman in the 17 out front.
Pace car is off.
Green flag in here. Big jump from the 17. Out jumps everybody going into turn 1, and this may be a little bit of an interesting restart here. It looks like the field was caught sleeping a little bit.
Yep, good move for the 17. Of course, he is the control car. Jesse Vaughn has moved up to second place.
What a run by Jesse. If he can get a good run here tonight, look for that driver to have an amazing off run.
Oh, okay, that's the 21. I think of Ian Ogden coming down pit road, as well as Zach Allen. They may have black flags to serve.
So it looks like Ian Ogden and Zach Allen do have black flags, as well as Bobby Gibson. 13, 12, and 12 incident points for those three drivers.
Well, Bobby Gibson's already retired, so I don't think he's caring right now.
Probably not. It says he's connected, but who knows?
Yep. All right, David Clayman continues to lead. He's got Jesse Vaughn on his tail, Ty Bostic, Ryan Pittman, Sammy Harrell, Luke Bullard, Chris Worrell, William Mann Jr., Grant Altizer, and Austin Habel. That is your top 10.
Two big movers out of that group is Sammy Harrell in the 42, up to 5th, up 12 spots, and Grant Altizer in the 12 we were just talking about in the 9th position, up 14 positions. So we'll see how these drivers play out. But right now, that 17 is out front leading that Carvana machine of Jesse Vaughn.
We're just kind of taking a look back through the field here and seeing how things are going. You got the 91 of Brad Previtt, Charles Van Squake, the 40 of Jeff Denis.
You know, all could be going so well until it doesn't. So, got to keep our eyes out, keep our ears out for anything happening on the track. It's so easy to lose control of the car here at New Hampshire, but we are about 3 laps away from the 1/3 mark, so 66% of this race left to be decided. We'll see how it plays out.
So, interesting fact, the leader, David Clayman, Ty Bostic in 3rd, and Ryan Pittman have not gone into the pits yet. So they're on the same tires and same fuel.
I mean, pit strategy is going to be a big factor, especially with as many cautions as we've had. So we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the drivers as this race progresses. Right now, we are looking at the 17 getting run down by the number 84 of Jesse Vaughn. I mean, those two drivers need a win. Bostic is one, Pittman is one. Sammy Harrell needs a win. Chris Worrell has one. So is Bullard, Mann, Abel. You know, some of these drivers up here, about half of the top 10, all need wins. So we'll see who's able to make a move here as this race progresses.
Oh, car in the back. Could have sworn I saw someone sliding around. That's Jeff Denis. He is 1 lap down in that Bass Pro Shops tracker number 40.
He is.
All right, back up
So
on the
Ricky-
front. Go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say, let's go back. I was saying the same thing. Let's just go back up to the front and see what's going on here. 84 is slowly reeling in that 17.
Yep, small margin, less just over half a second, separates David Clayman from Jesse Vaughn. Relatively consistent, though. There is a little bit of battle happening just behind with Ryan Pittman and Ty Bostic here.
Yep, 2 drivers who have won this season. So we'll see what these guys can do. And right behind him, you have Sammy Harrell looking for a win. Very important to watch this battle as it unfolds.
Yeah, Sammy's been a bridesmaid, I think, so far this season.
Yes, he has. He has. And he's looking for a win. You know, he's a great driver over there in that camp. And, you know, having him win a race is just going to increase the talent pool for the playoffs.
Lap 63 in the books here at New Hampshire. Looks like you've got a little bit of, no, I'm not even going to say it. All right. Hang with us, folks. We're going to go side by side. You won't miss any action, but take a quick commercial break.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce. We want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series broadcast here at New Hampshire for the Tech4Troops. Oh, when we've got a caution. It's like Philip Vandertwerk may have been involved.
Possibly. We have to go back and take a look at that one.
The 81 of Barletta behind him. You know, I don't really. I'm gonna back it up a little bit here. And let's go and look at this from Barletta's approach here. So Harley drops down to that second groove, and you can see the 48 is already, well, they're
already
both
creeping down a little bit.
Yeah, so they're both going for the same real estate, unfortunately. Oh, and here comes the 40 of Jeff Neaney.
Nowhere to go.
A bit of a nudge, yeah.
Yep, just unfortunate there. Nowhere to go for those drivers. Hate to see that. You know, with some of these guys out here looking for a good run, it's unfortunate to see some of these. Jepney having a great run originally, but got caught up in some stuff. Rick, we got some cars on pit road. Let's see what's going on pit lane. Got some of the front runners up there.
Yep, David Clayman, Vaughn, Bullard, Pittman, Harrell, Bostic, Skoik, Ian Ogden, Jeff Neeren, Christoph Hall, Zach Allen, all on pit road, all getting off of pit road.
And that's going to cycle Chris Worrell and William Mann Jr. to the front row. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mann Jr. Looking for a strong run. He is at one of those cutoff positions. Rick, he's right there at the bubble.
He is, and you know, another big mover tonight too, because he did not qualify as well, so he's picked up 10 spots. He's sitting now in P2. Other big mover, Sean Skytman, up to 5th. He was 13th start. Marco Berube, another sleeper there. Marco started in 21st. He's up to 6th.
What a run from those guys. You know, collectively, they are up 38 positions.
Yeah.
38 positions. That's a lot of cars that they've had to collectively pass. So could Sean Skytman get another win? And, you know, until he won, we didn't know that he didn't pronounce his name like Schutman. So maybe if he wins again, we'll learn another fun fact about Mr. Skytman. You know, William Mann Jr. has been running up near the front as of late and has had a lot of good showing, so we'll see what he's able to do. And also Marco Berube there. That's another driver who could possibly look like he could get a potential win and maybe move himself into the playoffs.
We're highlighting Pete Woodrum because Pete Woodrum also now is in 9th. Pete Woodrum started in 26 towards the very tail end of the field, has made his way up to the top 10.
He has, and we got to pay very close attention to him because he's on that bubble mark for incidents. He has 16 incidents right now. That's just a few away from getting disqualified from the night, and that could ruin his playoff hopes if he's looking for a win.
Number of guys are laps down. Nini, Ledger, Previtt, Hanna, Vandertwerk. Well, I think Vandertwerk has retired, but Nini, Ledger, Previtt, and Hanna are both under at least one lap down. Ledger is 1 lap down. Previtt and Hanna both 2 laps down. All right, back up front. Pace car is off.
We're out. Green flag back in the air here in tonight's New Hampshire event at the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Want to thank one thing we haven't done today, and want to thank everybody who's a part of this Tech4Troops Cup Series, including our sponsors, Tech4Troops, U-Haul, and 1111 Veteran Project. Cannot do it without all of our lovely partners, and go check them out if you haven't already. Really good organizations. We bring Jason on every week. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here due to some other obligations today, but love having them a part of what we do here with iRacing, Warriors Motorsports, and the Tech4Troops Cup Series. The one has dropped down. That's kind of odd, Rick. You saw that too, right? It's like he gave up some positions.
I think he just wanted to. This may be an issue of, he doesn't want to be involved in any place where he may have an opportunity to get caught up in something. He just said, okay, fine. There's 110 laps to go here. There's plenty of time to race back up. Jeff Needy, the 40 is down. Looks like he's going down pit road. He's headed into the pits.
Looks like he has a black flag that needs to be cleared, so he may be doing that. It looks like Philip Vandertwick has a black flag, and Bradley Previtt as well are all showing black flags. Bradley is in the pit, and Jeff Nini is 2 incidents away from possibly getting disqualified here tonight. So a lot of drivers on that incident bubble.
Well, it's unfortunate, but New Hampshire is a tough track. So back up front, Chris Worrell is showing us the way. He's got William Mann Jr. and Austin Habel is up in third, and he's looking to get around William Mann Jr. Both 2:11:11 drivers. Watch, contact. That was Ryan Pittman.
Hold on to her, guys.
He tagged the 42 of Sammy Harrell.
Pittman is trying to hold on to that car. Coming out of turn 2. Car sideways. I believe that's Bradley Previtt sliding. No caution yet. We have a contact, though. We caught it, Rick. There we go.
Yep.
He saved it, though. And
Caution's
still brought out caution. I don't even think we have to replay that one. We saw that one live in front of our eyes.
That was right there with Ryan Pittman. But was the caution with Brad Previtt, or?
I thought it was Brad Previtt. I saw him sideways. Go back and take a look, see what that incident was, where it originated.
Yep, it was the 91 of Brad Previtt. Let's back it up and try to see just what caused that to happen.
What happened here, Mr. Previtt? Lost it out of 2.
Yep. That remains a single car incident. With Brad Previtt, we did see, unfortunately, Mr. Ryan Pittman was lost it a little bit. Okay, 9 cautions down, and we are not quite to halfway.
Not quite, but we're almost, and that's what matters. Almost there. 15 laps away from the halfway mark here in tonight's event at New Hampshire. Back out front is Chris Worrell with William Mann Jr. in second, Austin Habel in third, Sean Skytman up to fourth, and back up in the top 5 is Mr. Jesse Vaughn.
All right, we did get a message from Alonzo King saying, man, what a rough night, and he is correct. It's a tough track. A lot of guys have have gone, laps down. They've had black flags for incidents, stop and go penalties. Pretty much for at least a third of the field has had a stop and go penalty in the pits. But it's really indicative of the fact that it's a flat track. It's hard, and you've got to give space.
You do. It's you got to give a little bit of a cushion, and we don't have that cushion there for that. It's it can be treacherous. And, not saying that you don't or you shouldn't drive aggressively and you shouldn't take away that competitiveness, but the way this race is going, it's a battle of attrition, and if you simply were able to avoid some of the incidents, you may see yourself like Worrell and Mann and Hable and Skytman and Vaughn up there at the front. So we'll see how this race progresses. But lights on the pace car are out, which means we are going to go back to racing here fairly shortly.
Chris Worrell in that 8 will be our control car. He is leading this field back to this restart. He's got the 29 of William Mann Jr. to his outside. Behind the 8 is Austin Hable and Sean Skytman to his outside. So good group. Don't count out Jesse Vaughn back there in 5th, and Mike Slagter, who is leading the points without a win column, not the points in total. He's right there and now up to 5th.
Let's talk about Mike really quick, and I'll call the restart as well. But Mike is doing a great job finishing races. He's able to get all the points he needs to get to make himself a contender, even without a win. So we may be able to see a non-winner possibly make it in. Green flag back in the air. Mike is giving a big bump to the 37 of Skytman on the outside, and the field stacks up going into 1. Here goes Skytman to the outside of the 84. Here comes the 81 of Barletta.
Jesse Vaughn make his way up and moving right up behind the 29 of William Mann Jr. Good start by Chris Worrell. Gave himself a little bit of advantage, got out there. Those 3 cars behind him are all battling for second position. Looking back through the field, a little wide. I think that was Sammy Harrell swung out a little wide in that number 42. Close racing here with Maurice Burnett in that 88 Cat. Right there with Mike Slagter. He's on the underside of Mike. The 17th, David Clayman. They've had a little bit of contact.
Maybe a little bit. Looks like he's able to keep that car going in the right direction. And we're a lot of side-by-side action going on right here throughout the field, and we'll see what happens as everybody makes their way down in the turn 1, still side-by-side.
Yep, trying to keep our eye on what's happening a bit farther back here in the field.
There's the 24 again, trying to climb back up through the field with Sammy Harold to the inside. You got the 2 NB2 cars right there, right behind him. There's Bostic and Bullard. Bostic and Bullard.
21 of Ian Ogden still hanging on back there, and the 8 of Pittman can work his way back up to the front. And Marco Ruby's got the 42 of Sammy Harrell under him, and the 24 of Zach Allen trying to split the 2. Maurice Burnett, a little bit of a blinking issue there. 99 of Marco Ruby a little high on that outside line.
Everybody keeping their car going in the right direction. Here comes the 24.
Contact.
Wow, I totally jinxed that one. Car flipping. That's the 24. Doing some pirouettes, and he's going to land. There he goes. He's stuck to landing, and a hood flying through the track. 24, everybody. Oh, the hood decided to.
That hood belongs
Is that
to
Pittman?
belongs to Pittman.
Well, that's not good.
Nope, that certainly is going to affect him within his incident points for sure.
And talking about incident points, I'm going to update that as we speak. Zach Allen up to 16, black flag. Ian Ogden up to 13. Jeff Nairn, 12. Bobby Gibson, 12. Mark Hanna, 11. Philip Vandertwick at 16 as well. So this is going to be interesting as this race goes on. And poor Pittman doesn't have a hood. Not much downforce there when you don't have a hood.
I'm pretty sure we don't actually need to go back and to replay this. We caught that one live, so.
No, we are good. We are good. We're getting the hang of this thing, Rick. It's like we've been doing this for a little while. I don't know.
We may have, yes.
Maybe
not my first race, but hey, So the 8 goes down onto pit road. He's going to get some repairs made. You see the 14 of Mike Slagter there. And I think that is also the 41 of Charles Van Scoik. Also John Ledger is on pit road. Zach Allen is on pit road. I think at that point you just saw Ryan Pittman decide he was going to get his fast repair and use it here at almost the halfway point.
Good strategy there. I like that move. I mean, obviously that hood not being on that 08 machine is going to create not very clean air going over the car, so he may have a little bit of a aero deficiency, but I think it's a good move right now, especially where we are in the race.
He may have gotten a meatball as well.
Could have. Very well could have.
Yep, so when we say meatball, that's pretty much a black flag with an orange round dot in the center. That pretty much means that your car is heavily damaged and you need to get that repaired, or eventually it will not continue to work.
Wait, you're not talking about actual meatballs? Oh, darn it, Rick.
Sorry.
Man, making me hungry.
Well, this is we are just past the halfway point. They need to send out for Uber Eats. Are they a sponsor?
I don't know. I think we should get them on board.
We should.
Send some drivers, some during the race food, maybe under caution. Somebody can run, get some food. Maybe send some stuff over to us up here in the booth. I wouldn't mind a nice snack or a drink during the race. Uber Eats, if you're looking to get into sim racing, we know a couple people.
We do. We know a couple people. So I was looking to see if Chris Worrell was in the Discord. I don't see him. We would have talked to him during the caution. We may reach out to a few drivers during the caution. We'll see how this goes. But he's got someone new to his outside on this restart.
He definitely does. That 84 machine of Jesse Vaughn showing great strides here as of late in that number 84 Carvana Camaro. What a season so far. He's right there again on that bubble mark. So running up here in the front, leading a lap, that's one more bonus point that'll work in his favor. But Rick, I gotta say, there's a lot of cars behind him that look very familiar and very similar with some sponsors. So I don't think there's going to be any room for error as those 11-11 guys are sitting right behind the 8 and the 84. Pace car down pit road, green flag in the air, and a big stack up on the bottom line.
Good opportunity for Chris Worrell to jump up and get into pretty much a free run as to he can drive his line. No one was crowding him. 84 moves into second. You've got the 29 of William Mann Jr. and the 6 of Austin Habel. Those are all 11-11 cars. back through the field. Saw a little bobble by the 40. I think that was Jeff Denis, but he held it together.
Yeah, he needs to hold it together. He has
right
two
there. So John Ledger was struggling. He kind of drove that. Looks like he was pushing so bad it sent him into the wall. Small tap. Ryan Pittman was also running up there pretty high. I figured he just got all that work done. He should be in pretty decent shape. So he is back there in the field with a lot of guys who have struggled tonight with this track.
You know, it's almost the name of the game, Rick. It's all about perseverance and attrition and getting through that struggle and seeing what can come out on the other side. So we'll see how these drivers can adjust and possibly face this attrition. It's happening under our eyes, and we'll see who's able to make it to the top as this race goes on. Right now, though, Rick, Whirl, Vaughn, Mann, Hable, and Skytman, your top 5, with Shootman there, or my bad, Skytman right there, and Barletta, they are battling for that 5th position. Up 13 spots is the 37 of Skytman.
Looking back through the field. Oh, caution's out. Pete Woodrum may have crashed.
Oh no, that's 18 for Pete. 2 more away.
Is the 08 involved again? He just got that car repaired.
Oh, does he get clipped? No, he's good. Pete just lost it.
Yep. And fortunately, there was no one at the time to collect him as well. So I don't think he's going to get full 4 points on that. That just could be a...
That's a 2.
Yeah. So our 11 caution of the night. You've got David Clayman in. You've got the 99 of Marco Berube coming down. Looks like a number of drivers: Grant Altizer, Charles Van Scoik, Pete Woodrum. Sure, Pete's gonna get those tires changed after spinning like that. Let's see what the 17 does here. Well, that looks like that was fuel only.
Not a bad idea. I like it.
It was fuel only for Charles Van Scoik. Everybody else on pit road is in for extended period of time. All right, lap 93 of 180.
Yep, halfway. We were at the halfway marker. Believe it or not, Rick, we are halfway through this race.
We are.
We have made it halfway.
87 laps to go here at New Hampshire. And again, we want to thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series. We started out with 30 entries. For the most part, we've only lost 4 drivers. 4 drivers so far, due to incident on the track.
Or incident point. Incident point.
We've had 11 cautions so far. Most of them involve turn 2, would you say? Close?
I'd say so. Definitely turn 2 or turn 4. We talked about this in the pre-race, us and race control and admins. It's a tricky track to drive, and throttle control is everything here. Throttle control, mix that with braking lines going into the corners, as well as turning input and steering input. You know, it's very much a notion that you cannot get ahead of the car. You cannot force the car to do something that it cannot do, and a lot of times that's where you see some drivers not used to it. So As it stands right now, we have a lot of drivers on that bubble mark from the playoffs, and this could be a big tipping point when it comes to how the playoffs are shaping out.
I
I mean,
do
look at
want to
Alonso
say
King out of the race.
it
Look at
does.
Joey Doucette not even in.
Yeah, I would want to say it. It is overcast, heavily overcast, and those are dark clouds. I don't think we're expecting rain, but yeah, maybe the drivers are talking about there's some black clouds up in that sky.
And there are. Wonder if our friends over in race control can, throw maybe some more clouds over the sky as the track sunnies up here in 3 and 4. Pace cars off again. This is our 12th restart of the night, and we are off. The 8 of Chris Worrell to the point again. 85 laps to go. My bad. No, yeah, 85 laps. No, 95 laps to go.
85.
I can't do math. I can't do math now. Okay. I'm trying to count all the cautions. I can't keep track of how many laps are left. See there, the 21 and the 19 teammates battling side by side. Hard dive into the corner there.
That's John Ledger in the 19.
Yep. Able to make that sick car blinking on the inside. I believe that is the 88.
It is Mr. Burnett, Maurice Burnett. Definitely a connection issue there for Mr. Burnett. And he is right there side by side. I think that was Luke Bullard.
It is. He is disappearing and reappearing at a very bad. And out of all the tracks, I'd say this is probably up there with where you don't want to be. That's going to be a spin. It's going to bring out a caution. Big wreck in the back out of 4.
Oh.
And we're wrecking Rick. He reappeared, got loose, and collected some cars.
Yep.
That's that. There you go, Rick. 2 drivers because of this have now become disqualified. Pete Woodrum and Jeff Ninny got caught up in that at 22 incidents apiece. They are now out of the race, unfortunately, and on the cusp, Rick. 1 incident point away, is the 91 and the 45, both at 19 incident points. So that totals 3 drivers that are out tonight due to incidents.
So we're trying to get back to what it may not be possible. Let's try to see just if we can. Yeah.
Do you think it'll even do it?
No, we're trying our best, trying to get back to that that incident that occurred. Okay, we may be able to try for spot it from another camera. Who is up there? Bear with us here as we begin to look for some of the other guys who may have been. Okay, maybe the Marco Berube. Let's try from Marco's car. Let's back it up. Let's try. All right, let's just try to run this through. We'll stick with.
Let's do it.
TV spins. I think Marco is actually involved.
I believe he is.
Was not on the list of vehicles involved. So we get the 17 of David Clayman trying to avoid it. It gets well, that was a net code.
That definitely was a net code. Are you talking about which part, the 99 shooting up the track or the 99 getting into the 08?
The right here is the 88, his tail end, and the 17 of David Clayman right there. As I let it go, you'll see him bounce off, but there's no contact.
Oh, yes.
99 to does not get into the 8, just kind of bobbles up there. 27 tags the wall.
Yeah, I think that was due to the overall net code of iRacing trying to figure out where the heck
It was doing a
that
lot of
88
math.
car was. It was doing a lot of things. You know, we give computers a lot of credit, and when you have a car disappear and reappear, you know, sometimes you're trying to overcompensate, and as it should.
So
Here at
lap
Hampshire.
lap 101, 80 to go. Jesse Vaughn, your new leader. He was able to take over that spot.
Yeah, Chris Forel, I believe, came down pit road. He's caught up in the mess
did.
here, Rick. That's a tough place to be.
Well, Chris Worrell, William Mann Jr., Austin Habel, Harley Barletta, Sean Skytman, Ryan Pittman, they all came down that last time.
And green flag back in the air. The 84 out front with the 42 tailing. You have the half of the 84 following that 84 machine. We'll see what that 42 can do. Sammy Harrell looking for a win. Imagine if Jesse Vaughn got a win. You know, I was talking about these two drivers earlier in the race in the broadcast. A win for these two guys means they are locked in, and it means a potential chance at a championship here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. And we're wrecking 21 in the back. 21 in the back. That's going to move his incident count up to 17.